What is organic growth in business? Organic growth sounds like a finance term, and usually it's defined as growth that comes from the business that you already own rather than from a merger or an acquisition. And that definition is correct, but it doesn't tell you whether the company is becoming stronger as it grows. Two businesses can produce the same revenue. One expands what the organization can reliably accomplish, while the other simply asks the same people and systems to carry more weight. That growth looks similar on the income statement. However, it feels very different inside the company. By the end of this video, you will know what organic growth means, the different ways a business can produce it, and the questions that reveal whether organic growth is expanding organizational capability or merely adding volume. Organic growth is generated by the existing business rather than buying another business. It can come from attracting more customers, retaining customers longer, increasing what existing customers buy, and introducing new products or services. If a company increases sales through its current operation, that's organic growth. If it adds revenue by attracting another company or acquiring another company, that's inorganic growth. Now that answers the financial question. But if you lead a growing business, there's a second question that actually matters more. Is the growth expanding the organization's capabilities, or is it adding volume to the same system? Executives often treat more demand as evidence that the organization is getting better. It may be evidence that the offer is attractive. However, there's not yet evidence that the organization can keep up the promise of that larger scale. Early growth can hide that distinction. Stronger employees tend to absorb the extra work, managers make more exceptions, experienced people carry the judgment that the process is not yet captured, and customers may be satisfied because a few people are protecting their experience. Revenue rises, so companies appear healthy, and the financial statements tell leadership that everything is on track and okay. Then the strain becomes visible. Decisions start to slow down. Onboarding becomes inconsistent. Service varies by location or team, and leaders spend more time resolving ordinary problems. Growth did not suddenly damage the business. Growth tested its seams and revealed the system's limiting capabilities. Now think of Costco. Costco offers a useful example because its growth depends on very specific operating promises. Members expect quality merchandise at consistently low prices. That promise is supported by a system, not by a slogan. Its membership model creates a continuing relationship in which renewal is a direct signal that members still experience value. Each new warehouse requires more than a building and more customers. It requires the organization to produce the very buying discipline, the inventory movement, the member experience, and the operating consistency behind the promise. When those capabilities travel, the company can add volume without abandoning the model that attracted customers in the first place. That is the important lesson in this story. Costco's growth isn't visible in sales and locations. The source of that growth is repeatable capability underneath them. Every growth promise is carried by a complete organizational system. And I call that complete capability system the PAC. The PAC is the smallest complete organizational capability system required to consistently fulfill a promise and adapt as reality changes. Now, the PAC includes people and processes and systems, information, intelligence, infrastructure, decision resources, behaviors, and all those seams align to operate together to sufficiently fulfill the promise. As demand increases, the PAC has to take on bigger challenges. It may need to serve more customers and coordinate across more locations, may need to make decisions faster and deliver more complexity without losing quality. That is where growth becomes a leadership question. The objective is not simply to push more work through the organization. The objective is to help the PAC consistently carry a larger promise. The most useful signal in a growing business is often the place where that promise starts to wobble. Maybe sales can win customers faster than operations can onboard them. Maybe one manager approves decisions that several teams now need. Maybe customer support depends on knowledge held by two experienced employees. And maybe the technology works in today's volume, but now requires workarounds at tomorrow's volume. That lagging capability is the back of the PAC. The capability that currently most limits the PAC's ability to fulfill its promise under facing reality. It's not a weak part or a person to blame. It's a part of the system currently limiting what the whole organization can accomplish reliably. Leaders who serve that constraint early can tune the organization around it and fortify the responses until the stronger way of operating becomes now dependable. If they do not, growth creates more strain and heroic recovery, and that increases the likelihood that your customers eventually feel the consequences. The strongest organic growth leaves the organization different from the one that began the journey. Strengthening the pack allows you to serve more customers without depending on constant intervention. It can carry larger promise with greater consistency. And that contributes to the evidence of adaptable capability. The pack can handle a challenge that once exceeded it with less dependence on exceptional intervention. And that gives leaders a better way to read growth. Do not ask why, how much did we grow? Ask, what can the organization do now reliably that it could not do before? Revenue tells you that you grew. Capability tells you whether you can keep growing. In your next growth conversation, ask one question that does not appear on your income statement. What can this organization now do reliably that it could not do before? And the answer will tell you whether growth is strengthening your business or merely making the existing system work harder. If you want to understand whether an organization is building the capability to keep growing, take the assessment that I've included below. It will help you identify where organizations are becoming more adaptable and where organizations continue to create strain.